Welcome back, YouTube fam. We are going to be covering the pros and cons of living in Summerlin. As you notice, I'm actually wearing a sweater today. It's a little cold out for us here in Vegas. For some of you back east, you guys would probably be in tank tops, but I'm a little cold. So we're going to bring to you guys today the pros and cons about living in Summerlin. So let's hop into the video. The first pro about Summerlin is the hottest neighborhood, hottest community. It's been one of the largest master plan communities in the country for a long time. Back in the day when the housing boom was going, Summerlin was probably the fastest growing community in the country. It's been nominated for best places to live numerous times from numerous publications. Summerlin has grown to over 200 plus parks, more than 24 public and private schools, 9 golf courses, 3 resort hotels, and recreational activities that can satisfy any person in your family. Summerlin has been one of the most sought after communities for a long time. I've been living in Vegas for 15 years now, and since day one that I've gotten to the mortgage business, many of our clients that are relocating here from all parts of the country, this is probably the one community they always ask about. Summerlin, Summerlin, Summerlin. Everyone wants to move to Summerlin. So I think over the years, Summerlin has built such a great name for itself in terms of the community, the close-knit vibe that it has, the restaurants, schools, everything you can think of that most people will look for in a place that they're gonna put some roots down and call home. Summerlin has that to offer. So I think a lot of times people will always ask about Summerlin first. So there's definitely the demand for homes and the living within that community, which leads me to my next point, is that if you are a seller and you do own a home in Summerlin, one of the best things is owning a home in probably the most popular community, right? So being a homeowner in Summerlin is a huge advantage to you, especially right now. We're shooting this video, it's November 2020, and the housing market here in Las Vegas is on fire. The Review Journal just put out an article a couple days ago about the Las Vegas market in general, saying that 70% of homes that go on the market are selling within 30 days. 70%. That number is insane, thinking that we're actually still in the middle of this COVID pandemic and homes are selling that quickly. So again, location, location, location is probably the biggest thing people talk about every single time when you talk about buying and selling real estate. So if you're gonna buy a home, you'd probably wanna buy in a place where you know that your ability to resell is gonna be at its highest point. So I think that's one of the reasons that a lot of people think about Summerlin, also that they buy in Summerlin and they call it their new home. And I think that's why it's still always one of the top of everybody's list that we talk to when they talk about coming to Vegas. Another pro to living in Summerlin is all the shopping that's available. So if you've seen some of our previous videos, we've done videos from Tivoli Village, we've gone to Boca Park, and we've even showed you downtown Summerlin. Those 3 are probably the more prominent shopping centers, strip malls that are available within the Summerlin area. They've got everything that you're gonna need, from Lululemon to furniture stores to stuff for the kids, Apple stores, you name it, it's there. They've got you covered. You don't have to necessarily worry about driving all the way to the strip just to get your shopping done. Everything's conveniently located in Summerlin. You've got restaurants there as well. And as Vegas grows as a city and becomes more of a foodie type place, which I know some of you are really big into the food scene, you can see that a lot of great restaurants are being built and popping up in the Summerlin area. One of the great places that we've talked about, Honey Salt over in Boca Park, a great local restaurant. There's a lot of these places that you can find. So really you just gotta take the time to come out, drive around, get lost in Summerlin, and I'm sure you'd find some great shopping and some great dining that'll make you love the area that much more. Another pro about living in Summerlin is all of the outdoor living and activities that are available. Right now, we're on a rooftop deck, so you can take a look and see we're close to the mountains. Being in Summerlin, you do have A little cooler climate than the rest of Las Vegas, being that you have a higher elevation. Despite Vegas being known as being so hot in the summers, believe it or not, Summerlin is a tad bit cooler than the rest of the valley. So that is also another thing that you can think about when you are thinking of moving here and where do you live. And if you're an outdoors person, you can't beat living in Vegas. Summerlin is literally right down the road from Red Rock. And again, if you've watched our channel, we've done a number of videos out at Red Rock showing some of the hiking that you can do. You can go cycling. There's a lot of things, a lot of activities that you can get into. Leo and I actually did a scenic drive at Red Rock, so definitely check out our channel if you haven't seen that. We're gonna be dropping that video as well. But there's just so many things that you can get into. Another pro about living in Summerlin, let alone Nevada for that matter, is the fact that we have no state income tax here. That's one of the biggest draws that I have been seeing for a lot of clients that have been relocating from all over the country, especially high cost of living states and cities like California, Hawaii, New York. As most of you know, or you've been following our channel, I'm born and raised in Hawaii, and Las Vegas is called the ninth island. So a lot of people from Hawaii have made the move here simply because the cost of living is just too expensive. I think if I were to move home, if I were to try to find a place that I'd be happy to live in, I'd probably have to spend a couple $1,000,000. Just like my daughter lives in Manhattan Beach. So same thing there. I've looked at houses there. If I'd find anything remotely close to being, close to her school and activities, I'm probably gonna have to spend $2 to $3 million. And if you look at that in terms of financing, you're looking at probably, depending on how much money you put down, you're looking at, maybe a $12,000 mortgage payment. And for the average person, I don't think you can fathom the thought of paying $12,000 a month just for a mortgage. That's not even including your car payments, credit cards, and anything else that you need to spend money on to basically live. Or you can come here, move to Nevada, Las Vegas, and you can get a beautiful home for maybe $500,000 to $600,000. $500,000 to $600,000. That mortgage payment might run you maybe $3,000 a month, compared to $12,000 just to say you live in California. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer, and I think that's why more and more people are moving here, simply because of the cost of living and the fact that now you can save money on those state taxes as well. It's a huge, huge benefit to anybody. And I think that's why our market here in Las Vegas is gonna be hot for a long time, because I think a lot of people are starting to realize that, hey, there's other ways that they can save money, have some sort of tax shelter, and at the end of the day, right, live a better life and not be maybe so stressed out about how to pay for the bills, and just to be able to keep up and live a normal life. One of the cons about living in Summerlin is the fact that you're on the northwest part of the city. So to get to Henderson or the Southern Highlands, you're about 30 to 40 minutes away. So from Summerlin to McCarran, you're looking at about a 20 to 25 minute drive. Now keep in mind, guys, if there's traffic, you may be able to add another 15 to 20 minutes on top of that. So if you frequently travel, you may want to consider other parts of town. For example, I travel quite a bit to California to see my daughter, and I live in Southern Highlands, and I can typically get to the airport in about 10 to 15 minutes. Another con about Summerlin, Nevada is our public transportation isn't quite the best, so you do need a vehicle to get around town. I personally live in Southern Highlands, and it took me about 30 or so minutes to get out here today to shoot this video for you. So if you're planning on moving here, make sure to budget a car payment or be able to purchase a vehicle so you can get around town without any issues. Another con about living in Summerlin, Nevada is the cost of living. The median home price out here is about $420,000 compared to other parts of Las Vegas, which is about $270,000. So living in Summerlin is a little more expensive, especially when it comes to owning a home. But if you go back to our pros list, you have a ton of amenities that do make it worthwhile living in this part of town. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to catching you on the next video.